Cape, one of the most beautiful parts of South Africa, with its world-famous garden route, hosts the South African Rally Championship for the first time in 17 years. The Outeniqua forests in the mountains surrounding the town of Knysna are a natural playground for the adventurous and adrenaline junkies, but the area also offers a range of other activities. Nestled between the Outeniqua Mountains and the Indian Ocean, Knysna is a preferred holiday destination for anyone looking for sun, sea, fun and games, making it the ideal host for the 6th round of the 2011 South African Rally Championship. This week, action from the two-wheel drive category.
Before we get into that, we're going to catch up with some of our stars on the South African Rally Championships, Leroy Poulter and Mark Cronier.
You know, we've worked together and we've been friends for a long time. We've been away and it shows that we've brought it into racing and we've been competitive through our lives really, from age of 8 years old and right the way through now, and we're still battling against each other.
Started off with, as a very young age, nagging my dad to literally go and watch some karting, and my dad eventually buckled at the knees and we got involved with a little bit of indoor karting initially, and before we knew it we both had 2 junior GP karts and off we went to Swartkops for the first time.
I started on 2 wheels with my family, been in racing for many years. Obviously wanted me to get involved. We won 3 national championships with the bikes, and in the 4th year I was doing really well and fell and broke my knee quite badly, and my mother stopped everything then and then and said to me, you better do something safer. And we started off at karting.
I did the World Finals 4 times before actually winning it. Gavin won it in the first year, which was quite an achievement. It was an inspiration for me to look up to. And the best part of it was I won the South African round, which I couldn't have asked for anything better. I mean, I still won't forget those feelings, you know, driving around that circuit. I could literally hear the people on the last lap, you know, going ballistic.
And then I went and did it in 2008 in Italy, Le Conca circuit. That's where we've both won, and I think both guys winning, it just shows that, you know, I think once you've won in a kart, you can win in anything else.
I was very fortunate at that stage already to have Toyota on board. They decided to put me into Group N racing, a very small class. I started in Class F. Again, going up against Leroy. Leroy was sponsored by the Opel brand at that stage.
There was a stepping stone to move up through the ladder, which the manufacturer supported us. And it just showed from karting, nothing changed. We both were at each other in Class F, which was, I think I was 16 then, and he was probably 17, which both we were young and trying to learn the ways around it. We were both very close and competitive.
They gave me an opportunity to go off-road racing. And I think Leroy carried on production cars at that stage, and the off-road really worked well for me. I think it suited me more than any of the other sort of driving styles, and in my first year I finished, I think, 2nd overall. I almost won the overall championship in a Class E bucky. It shook the off-road fraternity so hard that they literally changed the rules in that year.
I moved in onto off-road racing from there with Nissan. And it showed it was really good. I won, I think it was 4 races that year, and had a lot of incidents. But I think the experience gained was what we needed for rallying.
This is where we are today. You know, we started out first of all in A6, which we won literally every race, and then A7 again, winning everything in that front. And then I got the opportunity to drive alongside Serge just for 1 or 2 races in the S2000, and right from the outset, I think we showed that we were going to be a force to be reckoned with. Then we moved to the bigger class this year, and you know, Mark is there again, and it just shows each rally we're on each other's case all the time. You know, he's had a really good season up until now, and he's been there a little bit longer than me, but we've learnt a lot, and I think into the future we'll be there with him. Absolutely, we're going to go hammer and tongs. I think we're built for each other, so we're going to be butting heads all the way through our career.
Recapping the S2000 category, Conrad Rotenbach came into the Garden Route Rally leading the championship, but suffered from brake problems and dropped to 2nd after finishing 5th. Charles Wilkin had a nightmare with numerous mishaps, resulting in his second consecutive non-finish. Argen Fekken's rally lasted only 3 stages before damage caused an engine failure. Enzo Kuhn played the numbers game, electing not to push too hard, while Johnny Gemmell tried to chase down early leader Mark Renier. Jan Habig hit a log, retiring due to the resultant damage to his rear suspension, which left John Williams nowhere to go but into that same log. Kuhn and navigator Guy Hodgson held third for most of the event, but eventually dropped to fourth, behind Leroy Poulter and Alvin Coetzee, who finished on the podium behind Johnny Gemmell and Drew Starrock in the leading Castrol Toyota Auris, with Mark Renier and Robin Houghton racking up their third consecutive victory to go to the top of the point standings. We'd like to thank all our associate sponsors for bringing us highlights of the 2011 Garden Route Rally. Cold, wet conditions greeted competitors at the start in George, which meant some tough choices had to be made.
It's very awkward today, especially with the inclement weather. We've changed to mud tyres. A lot of guys have stayed on dry tyres. It's a bit of a gamble because of the puncture issue, but we're going to have to go for it. We're going to have to try and go for a win.
I'm paired with Hilton this event, and it's a bit scary. We've never been here before, and the roads are quite tricky, but I'm sure we're going to be fine because he's very experienced, and I'm sure he'll keep it together for us.
Leading the field off the ramp, Chad Conradi and Kes Naidu in the Silverton Engineering Toyota Auris. They've had 2 second places and 3 non-finishes so far this season. Christoph and Celeste Snyder's next in their Volkswagen Polo, currently lying in joint second position in the championship, and Ashley Hake-Smith and James Aldridge in the Castrol Ford Fiesta, already with 1 win behind their name.
We start our coverage on stage number 2, the MTO Bergflas number 1, a 23.13 kilometer stage. Very muddy. Tyre choice is going to be key here, and most of the guys starting out on the dries.
John Karadi coming into the stage first on the road, currently in 9th position after the first stage. He's got a deficit of 12.3 seconds to make up.
Just working his way into it and obviously feeling out the conditions. Snyder's a very consistent duo as well. They'll just be easing their way into the rally.
Ashley Hake-Smith won the first stage, so he's effectively leading the rally coming into this stage.
Guy Bottrell and Skalk Van Heerden in the Yato Tools Toyota. A good start to the rally as well, a 3rd place in the first stage. They would go on to win stage number 2.
Warner Janssen van Rensburg currently lying in 6th position after stage 1. This is a very impressive youngster. He's made some good drives so far this season. Can we see another one here?
Had some problems on the stage where he went through a water splash and the entire footwell filled with water, so wet shoes for the rest of the day.
Talking about problems, Gugu Zulu getting a puncture in this stage, losing about 1.5 minutes, but it's good to see him in action again. Perfect
start to the rally for Craig Trott and Robbie Coetzee. They would go 2 for 2, 2 second places on stage 1 and 2.
Stefanie Hugo Botha, and she's also losing some time in the stage. 1 minute 48 seconds off the pace.
So hard to feel out these conditions on this rally. Chris and Frans de Wit, the father and son duo, keeping it in the family and trying to get those championships that they know they're capable of.
The impressive young Henk Ladegan, leading class S1400, lying 8th overall after stage 1. And he would go a remarkable 22 seconds only slower than Guy Bottrell.
Megan Verloc and Hilton Ofray finding their way through their new partnership.
Paul Hendrik Franken and Uwe Pay in their Toyota Corolla. Well, they're still finding their feet, going about 2 minutes slower than the pace.
Dolph Coetzee and Henry Adams running in the 1300 Toyota Taz, homologated to run in the 1400 class. He knows his way around this car. I'll tell you that, he's been in it for a long time.
So Guy Bottrell takes the stage win to take the lead in the rally. He's 5.3 seconds faster than Craig Trott in the stage ahead of Conradi. Look at Lategan, only 22 seconds off the pace.
Stage number 3 is going to be Beerflay number 1, 18.86 kilometers. Very fast and flowing track, and the guys should have some kind of setup on their car by now.
Expectant crowds all around the stages. Conradi and Naidu currently lying in 3rd position, 17 seconds off the pace. And they would set a benchmark time of 17 minutes, 17.4 seconds.
He went on to say this was a very scary, dangerous stage for him, and the brakes certainly took some strain towards the end.
Pushing very hard there, Christoph Snijders, but he will be losing some time there. He's currently lying in 7th position overall, along with his sister in the hot seat, Celeste.
The higher shock setting's not working for him on this fast stage. Ashley Hake-Smith developing on pace, getting much faster through this stage, but still battling with the tyre problems.
Guy Bottrell and Skalk van Heerden currently leading the rally. They have a margin of just under 5 seconds to defend. And they would go fastest by 23.2 seconds.
Pushing the pace and getting dangerous out there, but taking chances is what it's all about. Morning, Jens van Rensburg, still a little bit off the pace as well and struggling for traction.
Trott and Kutsia on their wet weather tyres, doing pretty well, lying second at the moment in the stage. And they would go fourth fastest.
Rock solid start to the rally.
Chris de Wit and his son France still just easing into the required pace. Of course, Chris, a multiple former champion in class A6 and A7.
The Q8 Oils polo of Henk Ladegan says he couldn't push on the stage. He is dictated to by the conditions.
Kai Bottrell takes his second consecutive stage victory to stretch that lead in this stage ahead of Morning Jansen van Rensburg.
We caught up with the drivers at their first chance to get some work done on the cars.
Battling to find the pace. We haven't done a lot of stages in the past 3 rallies, so we're trying to find out what the pace is. It's a bit more difficult with the slippery conditions, so we're taking it easy at this stage.
Ashley, just not on the pace today.
No, struggling a bit. Probably took the wrong tyre gamble, but we had what we had. So now I think we can improve in the last 2 stages, and maybe tomorrow give it some good boot. Yeah.
Stage 4 is going to be a hard stage to end the day on. MTO Karatara 1, 18.22 kilometers.
John Corradi and Kes Naidu still first on the road, but lying in third position overall, 40 seconds off the pace. Question is, are they satisfied with that, or do they want to close that gap?
Snyder's smooth and steady as always. Really no flash in the pan this morning as well. They'll do all their work on day number 2 when they can get those wet tyres on.
Ashley Haig Smith and James Aldridge just under a minute off the pace after some early problems, and they are trying to get back on top.
Just to show how hard conditions are as well. Out on the trails, it's going to be all mud, and in the forest, a little bit of rocks to deal with as well. Very hard conditions to get around.
Rally leaders, Bottrell and Van Heerden, they have a gap of 33.2 seconds to defend, but they go slowly in this stage.
Jansen van Rensburg coming off a second place in the previous stage. He would push hard, but only be rewarded with a 5th on this one.
Also pushing hard, Guga Zulu and Carl Peskin in the BP Volkswagen Polo, currently in 9th position overall, and they would go second fastest on the stage.
Been complaining about down on power because of an exhaust and gearbox problem. This time it worked for him though.
Second in the standings behind Bottrell and Van Heerden, that's Craig Trott and Robbie Kutsia. 33.2 seconds down at this point in the team total Toyota Runnix.
Stephanie Hugo Buerta and Angela Shields been really battling today with the conditions, and on this stage, unfortunately, it would be the end of their rally.
Chris and Frans de Wit currently 2 minutes off the pace. Lategan and Jordan still comfortably leading class S1400.
Punches out on the stage for Lategan and then helping a down driver. It was this driver, Verloc, both of those drivers losing out by over 10 minutes on the stage.
Great to see some chivalry amongst the competitors, and clearly it was a good idea to bring the rally to this area. After an absence of 17 years, people are enjoying it.
Christoph and Celeste Snyders take their first stage win of the rally by 4.2 seconds, ahead of a resurgent Gugu Zulu.
And for the overnight rest, the teams converge on the Simola Golf Estate.
There's a lot of guys that made a wrong tyre choice today, went in on the dry tyres. They're obviously going to be on the wet weather tyres tomorrow, so they'll be chasing. So I think tomorrow's going to be a lot harder than it was today.
We had a danger right 8, and I just went in way too fast, and I drove up a bank. We were very lucky just to get a punch at the end of the day and got it back. But we had 10 k's still to go of the stage, so I drove 10 k's with a flat wheel, which was quite scary. But we made it to the end. The other guys took a lot of time off me, but the Snyders made a bit of a mistake clocking in, so that helped me out a bit. And I think overnight I'm lying second at the moment.
Confirmation of that overnight, Craig Trott and Robbie Kutsia lead Guy Bottrell and Schalk van Heerden by just over 10 seconds. Ashley Haig Smith and James Aldridge in third.
The big story coming into the overnight stop is the fact that the Snyders siblings made a mistake clocking in, and they've been penalised, dropping down to 6th place.
Day 2 dawned bright and sunny at Simola Golf Estate, and with the warmer conditions, it was expected that the day's stages in the Outeniqua Mountains would dry out pretty quickly. We have seen many an upset in this year's rallying, however, and the second day of the Garden Route Rally might well turn up another 1 or 2. The best seat in the house, arguably from the cockpit of the Simola Golf Estate helicopter.
Start our day 2 coverage with stage number 7, MTO. That's Mountain to Ocean, Karatara 2. 18.22 kilometers, hopefully drying up.
The previous stage saw the demise of Guy Bottrell due to gearbox problems, Stefani Hugelboerta and Dolf Coetzee, with Ashley Haig-Smith taking over the lead from overnight leader Craig Trott.
So Trott is going to be living on borrowed time here for a little bit longer. He controlled day number 1 because of the tyres, but everyone is going to be hunting him down now.
Snyder is carrying a 2-minute penalty, going 12.7 seconds faster than Trott in the stage.
Haig-Smith and Aldridge coming into day number 2, controlling 3rd place on the road, but only finishing 7th place on this stage.
Conradi and Naidu more than a minute and a half off the pace, but they go 6.8 seconds faster than Snyder's.
Seat time has been their problem, and they are driving themselves back up the pace through this rally. Massive gearbox problems, and you can hear that on the shot as well. The exhaust and gearbox still holding Gugu back. They re-welded it in the overnight, and it's come loose again.
DeWitt, father and son, currently in 6th position overall. Whoops, I was going to say taking it easy, but they're certainly trying hard there.
This is someone who didn't hold anything back. Morne Janse van Rensburg and Rickers Ferrie gave it everything they had on this stage, and they were rewarded with their first stage win on the rally.
Good indication there of how hard they're doing. Great handbrake turn there. Ladegan and Jordan second in class S1400, carrying a 2-minute penalty after their gallantry yesterday.
And would go on to post the 4th fastest time on the stage. He's found the zone.
Verlaken Offray leading class S1400 at this point, but the question is for how long?
Yes, definitely the pace of Ladegan is building, and with a couple of stages still to go, he's got time in hand. Franken running in the Super Rally after having problems on stage number 4.
Morne Janse van Rensburg taking his first stage victory of the event. A good start today too for Gugu Zulu.
Simola Helicopter gives us our first shots on day number 2 of the Karatara Service Park.
I'm trying to stay on the road, not trying to go faster. If you immediately when you try that, you just feel you're going to slip off. It's very difficult.
We've had some competitive stage times today. Yesterday we had a few problems. We lost some time there, but today things are going well.
Now, Frans, what's it like for once telling your dad what to do when you navigate him through the stages?
Yeah, no, it's something new to me, but it's very, very interesting and a lot of fun. I'm really enjoying it very much. Old man drives very well.
Yesterday we were going fine up until stage 4. In the middle of the stage we got a puncture. We lost like 4 minutes probably. Then we kept on going and it got really wet inside the forest and it was very slippery. We spun. We had to reverse up against the wall because we couldn't turn around. The roads are too narrow. We carried on. We found Megan and she was stuck next to the road and we pulled her out. She had a rope ready, so we just pulled her out. And then after the stage we got stuck. The car wouldn't come out of one of the gears, so the car stalled and we got stuck on a downhill. We got 12 minutes lateness after that.
Stage 6 we were hauling till in the middle of the stage there by the hairpin. We cut the corner a bit because our window was dirty. We got stuck. We got out there and then stage 6 we just drove through, just keep it calm till stage 7. Into stage 7 we just hit it flat out. The car was awesome. We broke one rim as you can see, but the car's handling awesome. The wet tires is much better than yesterday.
Stage 8 MTO Bergplaats 2, that's a repeat of yesterday's stage 2, over 23.13 kilometers and dirt and mud.
Trott would be first man out there. He has been closed down. He was in survival mode at the beginning of the stage. Now he has to start pushing it.
Absolutely. He's only got 5.9 seconds to close up on Ashley Haig-Smith, leading the rally at this point. Here's Snyders, and he goes faster by 19.3 seconds.
Snyders coming back from those problems at the end of day 2. Got it out of his head, and he went for the wins here.
Rally leaders, Haig-Smith and Aldridge, pushing hard. As I said, 5.9 seconds that they have to defend. But they go 17 seconds slower than Trott.
They had a problem with the intercoms. They couldn't hear each other. It was all drive-by, line of sight, and hand signals. Very difficult.
Conradi and Naidu, we just saw them 3rd fastest behind Snyders and Trott. This is DeWitt, and he goes 5th fastest. Janse van Rensburg, currently in 7th position.
Coming off a great result in stage number 7. But on this stage, he would come across problems. 10 kilometers in, losing revs and then getting stuck in first gear. He would lose 3.5 minutes on this stage.
Lategan and Jordan having taken over the lead in class S1400, leading Verlaak by about 11 seconds.
Verlaak is on the rear offensive now. 2nd place is the best she can hope for. She just needs to get these last couple of stages done and keep it clean. She would go on to get a 7th place on stage number 8.
Paul-Hendrik Franken and Uwe Pay. Unfortunately, this would be the end of their rally as they retired later on in the stage.
Christoph and Celeste Snyders take their second stage win of the rally then. Craig Trott, with a solid second place, moves himself back into the rally lead.
Last chance for some servicing now before the final stage.
On the first stage up to service, towards the end of the stage we lost the intercom, so actually couldn't hear me, which made some frantic calls and pace notes. So before the next stage, I think we lost about 17 seconds to Craig. So on the next stage we swapped helmets and we're better, and we took 2 back, but I think we're about 14 down now.
Leading the two-wheel drive championship going into the last stage, you must be pretty confident, yeah?
I think so. You know, we're repeating the first stage of this morning, which in my mind is probably the worst stage of the event. It's mud from start to finish. So we've got to be cautious. Yeah, one mistake and that's the end of your rally, but 14, 13 seconds, it's going to be tough. It's not going to be easy.
Stage 10 and the final stage of the rally. A repeat of stage number 6, Concordia 2, 22.33 kilometers. This is a hard end to the rally.
And a fantastic climax as they go into the stage. The leading pairing of Trott and Coetzee leading by only 8.8 seconds. In fact, not as large a margin as he thought, ahead of Ashley Haig-Smith.
Absolute nail-biter. How do you control that? How do you not push? And how do you just bring it home safe in such a long stage as well to control?
Basically, the one that beats the other in this stage should become the overall victor.
Snyders, after stage number 9, were complaining about the car pulling to one side, feared that one of the shocks was dropping, but that is our rally leader pulling out there. So Trott on a very tight section of the track, unfortunately we would find out later, having terminal gearbox problems and losing the rally on the last stage.
Which should in theory mean that Ashley Haig-Smith and James Aldridge now would move into the lead of the rally if they can complete the stage.
They will realise that when they come around the stricken Trott on the sidelines, but it would be a nervous last couple of kilometres as the car kept jumping out of gear, and that's why they lost a bit of time on the stage.
Now Conradi in second place overall, and he has a little bit more than a minute to make up on Ashley Haig-Smith. So he's going to keep up the pace and try to push as hard as he can, because he could still, in fact, in theory, win this rally. Megan Verlaak and Hilton Orfrey, a new pairing, and on their way to finish their first event together. And some good, solid point score again for the team.
Chris and Frans de Wit in their privateer entry. The Toyota Corolla would be happy to just load on the trailer and live to tell another tale.
Indeed, they had a number of problems on this event, but they will be happy to finish. The former multiple class champion, Chris de Wit, another solid performance between him and his son.
The last stage of the Garden Route Rally saw Snyders take another stage win. That's 3 on this rally, ahead of Conradi, who came strong towards the end, and Ashley Haig-Smith, a solid third. That was enough.
We said we could expect some surprises, and that's indeed what happened, and I think a very relieved and probably surprised Ashley Haig-Smith, along with James Aldridge, home for the second victory of the season for Ashley. And that comes on top of the good news that Ashley will be joining the FIA WRC Academy for the final 2 events of the season later this year.
Ashley, congratulations, fantastic victory there. Two-wheel drive certainly dished up his usual twist at the end.
Yeah, for sure. No, really what happened to Trott, really I'm sorry for him. It's not a great way to win. It would be good to have a fight and see what on paper, but really hard luck, and I'm sure he'll come back in vengeance in the next event. But it was a good event in all.
And a double victory for the Fords.
Exactly, yeah, no, I think it was made for this event.
James, you've had a very busy day today.
Yeah, the stages have been very difficult today, and we entered the last stage very close to Craig, so we decided we would try and go for the win, and like I said, it was a shame to see him pulled over, unfortunately.
At the end of the Garden Route Rally, it was Ashley Haig-Smith and James Aldridge that took the win by 35.6 seconds ahead of Chop Conradi and Kes Naidu.
There's 1,400 going to Megan Verlaak and Hilton Orfrey.
Snyders came through solid at the end, though, really pushed and gave it everything they could to take the Drivers' Championship lead by 6 points. Craig Trott drops to second place then with those problems on this rally. Guy Bottrell and Ashley Haig-Smith tied for third.
Celeste Snyders also goes to the top of the Co-Drivers' Championship, 8 points ahead of Robbie Coetzee, with Schalk van Heerden and Kes Naidu joined third. Everybody enjoyed coming back to the Southern Cape. Very successful Garden Route Rally 2011. And we'd like to thank all our associate sponsors for bringing us highlights of this year's Garden Route Rally.
Well, it's the Toyota Cape Dealer Rally, and it's on the 23rd and 24th of September. It starts on the Friday around about 1300 hours, and that will be at McCarthy Toyota in Tableview. That's close to Killarney, and the whole rally will be in the Killarney and the Hopefield area with various stages, tar and gravel in that area. And it will finish Saturday around about 1600 hours at Killarney. So yes, I think everybody that remembers the Swartland Rally, this is very much the same thing. Very spectator friendly, and we expect a highly competitive rally. It's actually spectacular. It's the wheat fields, it's canola, it's yellow and it's green. It's just after the rainy season in the Cape. So, it's Cape at its most beautiful. And obviously the roads are very different from the forests. It's quite fast. It's through the wheat fields. Sometimes the guys can't really see where they're going. Lots of blind corners and spots. So you need to be on the top of your game if you want to go fast and win this event.
People